Now, leading us through this week's lesson and trick tutorials is our featured mentor of the week, Shauny D. Shauny D is an incredible pilot known for his creativity in the FPV world. He's brought a fresh perspective to flying, creating some really cool tricks like the Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, cinnamon roll, and half Mavi, which have gained popularity on channels like Head Matzo. On top of that, Shauny D is always pushing the boundaries with what you can do with whoops with unique challenges like doorbits, balloon juggling, and even pulling off a Rubik's Cube inside of a tent that is 4 feet 9 inches tall. If you're looking for fresh, creative content in your YouTube feed, Shauny D is the pilot to follow. Now, let's pass it over to Shauny D, who will introduce this week's lesson and demonstrate the tricks to go with it.
Oh, man.
What was that? Huh. Thought I heard something.
I'm so out of breath. I've never had a quad stuck that firmly in a tree before. I'm trying to shake the crap out of that thing. All right, thanks, Tarrant. It's gonna be a fun week. Some good tricks we've got this week. The first trick is the Maverick loop, which is gonna be just like a power loop without a flip. So you're gonna fly forward, you're gonna pitch back, throttle up, go over an object, and back under. So it's gonna have this kind of look, sort of a jumping effect backwards. The next trick is the opposite of that, a beginner Matty. So you're gonna fly forward over an object, you're gonna pitch back, cut throttle, fly underneath it, come back, and then back over the top. So it's gonna have this motion. The third trick is a jump rope. So you're gonna turn sideways. So you're gonna go under the object, you're gonna roll, come over the top, cut throttle, roll the other way, come down the side and back under. So it's kind of this motion from the side. And then we've got a bonus trick, which is a Mavi roll, which is a Maverick loop with a roll. So for a Mavi roll, you're gonna do a Maverick loop. You're gonna go under an object, pitch back, throttle up, come back, and as you're passing backwards, you're gonna do a full roll and then fly back under the object. Finally, the prize trick of the week is gonna be a cinnamon roll. And a cinnamon roll is gonna be like the jump rope where you are going sideways over an object. But the cinnamon roll has a yaw spin at the top of it. So you're gonna go under an object, up over the top, do a full yaw as you're passing over that object, and then you come back down again sideways. All right, let's go to cinnamon. We'll start with a Maverick loop. This is gonna be flying forward under the object, pitch back, throttle up, cut throttle, and fly forward. Pitch forward to fly forward. So throttle up, pitch back, pitch forward, cut throttle, and then catch with some throttle flying forward. So on this trick, you don't necessarily want to catch from the ground. Don't think of it as catching from hitting the ground. Think of it as flying forward. So you should be seeing your object and then fly forward through the object. And that's going to make that curve and the loop look a lot more like a loop and not have this like bounce effect and then fly forward. And you can see the object better if you pitch forward more and then fly forward through the object. That was a lot. That was pretty extreme. But so from the side, a Maverick loop or a beginner Matty, any of the loop tricks really should look kind of like a circle. So you want to have a nice looping in motion. And that also means make sure you fly back under the object on this one. So under the object, flick back, and then fly through it. On this one, make sure you practice having as much hang time as you can, and that's going to come in handy for the bonus trick. I love to do this trick with a lot of throttle and flick forward, so I float for a long time. I think it's cool to have that stall sort of feeling. Alright, the next trick, trick number 2, is a beginner Matty. So you're just going to go over the top of an object, back under, and then complete the loop by flying over it. Before you do this trick, find something you can look at through your gap that's centered. So this tree in this example is a good one. Fly under the object, look at your spot, and then do a pitch back to fly backwards. And you want to figure out, you want to do this a few times just to figure out how much throttle you need and how much pitch back you need, what you're looking at to fly backwards without just running into the ground. So you're flying backwards blindly in this, so you want to have some extra spatial awareness. So just go under and back on the obstacle a couple times, and you'll get a good feel for what you need to do. So then you're going to fly over the object, cut throttle, pitch back, and fly under. I didn't listen to my own advice and watch where I was spotting. On to the next trick, which will be a jump rope. So jump rope is a sideways maverick loop. So you're going to approach an obstacle, yaw 90 degrees, you're going to throttle up and roll to go over it. At the top of it, you're going to cut your throttle and roll the opposite direction to go back under it. This is a pretty fat obstacle to do it on. Do it on something skinnier, and you'll have to be less drastic with your movement. And I like to think of it more as a triangle. So you can have the bottom of the triangle here, and then you have this side of the triangle. At the tip of it is when you're going to cut throttle and change directions, and then you come back down the other side. So bottom of the triangle, one side, you cut throttle, change directions, and you come down the other side. And we'll do both ways on the jump rope. Let's move on to the bonus trick, which is a Mavi roll. And a Mavi roll is just a maverick loop with a roll as you travel backwards. So do a maverick loop on your spot just to get warmed up. And then as you're traveling back, you're going to do a full roll and fly into the obstacle. And fly back under the object. What you want to avoid on this one is doing just a maverick loop and then catching yourself rolling and flying through. And that's like a separate tricks. So you want to make sure you string in that roll as you're traveling backwards. And I really like to pitch forward pretty hard so I'm seeing the object, both in the maverick loop and the Mavi roll. And that means to get the roll in, I got to do a lot of yaw spin along with that roll. And as with any trick, try to practice them both directions so you don't get stuck only doing one. The last trick in the prize challenge will be a cinnamon roll, and a cinnamon roll is just a jump rope with a yaw spin at the top. You go both directions. That was a really sloppy one. So for the cinnamon roll, I like to keep the point of view or the obstacle in view, and that means that I am pitching forward quite a bit while I'm yawing, just to keep that in view. And then of course, since you're yawing, you gotta kind of do a little bit of roll coordination. So doing a double Dutch here. Do a big old jump rope and do it all traveling backwards. Do a cinnamon roll, traveling forwards. Yeah, another jump rope. Let's do a sideways roll, into a burrito roll, into a Mavi roll. Alright, we're outside now. Let's do a maverick loop. Just gonna go pitch back, throttle punch, pitch forward, forward. This drone's a really good one. You can see if I do too much of a vertical catch on this, there's all that prop wash, but if I fly forward, it's nice and clean. Alright, and then beginner Maddie, I'm going to get my spot here. I see the tree. I know I need about this much to fly backwards. And then I can go ahead and do it. Line it up. Let's put the Maverick and the beginner Maddie together here. Alright, let's do the Maddie roll now. That's pretty bad. So if you don't get enough hang time when you flick back, it makes it really hard. Alright, let's try to do some jump ropes. Alright, let's do now some cinnamon rolls. And then we can do some forward momentum cinnamon rolls. Try to get a gear, suck it back in. Good intake for the submission. I think that was everything, right? Perfect landing. So that is week number 4 for y'all. Good luck. Have fun.